total cultural shock. One day you are cleaning dishes, serving dishes. Next day you are conducting PR meetings with the marketing team.
These are the decisions and the choices that can change a whole path, outcome of your life.
I was thinking it would be a dry spell and couldn't do any work, but then that period of our lives showed all of us importance of digital.
You will never grow as much as anyone going through these experiences if you go to university. Little did we know that that was the start of so many big things. Little did we know.
Yeah. On that note, I will take opportunity to explain how we started this. I arrived to Dubai, started looking for a job. No one wanted to hire me as a marketing professional because I didn't have Dubai experience. Back then, I was furious because, like, if no one hires me as an expat, how I can have Dubai
The
experience?
typical cliche.
The typical cliche, but today we have an agency, and I know it's a valuable thing if you hire a professional from Dubai market is different than hiring from other countries. So I'm not that mad anymore. For retrospective, I graduated from economics in Turkey. I had experience in so many fields, including finance and marketing. So I was hoping that when I come here, I can find a junior role as a fresh graduate and grow from there. Couldn't find anything, and in the end, I had an interview to become a waiter in a French restaurant. Then I was like, okay, instead of going back to my country, I'm a fresh graduate. I have many years ahead of me. I will become a waiter.
Mm.
Then the journey started. I was a commie waiter. Then with the first opportunity, I asked the cross training in marketing, and in short period of time, I had the position of marketing assistant. Before this position, I had to work 7 days a week for almost a year. Total cultural shock. One day you are cleaning dishes, serving dishes. Next day you are conducting PR meetings with the marketing team, which I enjoy more, of course. But this was the sacrifice part, or this was the beginning of the sacrifice part. During my time as a waiter, I learned a lot. I had trainings in the kitchen, in the grill, in the pastry. They sent me to MMI for the wine and spirit training. So all those things contributed a lot. Then when I become a photographer, I knew how the dish is supposed to look like, what looks more appealing, what's correct way to serve wine, champagne, open them, etc. And even today, when we shoot with new sommeliers, we can show them how to do things properly to look good on camera. So merging all these skills. Anyway, long story short, then I became a marketing executive. Then I became a marketing manager, changed jobs a few times in Dubai.
When you were working on these marketing positions, were you already photographing or videographing something, or you were
No,
just
it's funny. It's a good thing you asked that because again, there's value in that story. I had a budget to hire photographers, and when I hire photographers, I was going to shoot things with my own little camera
Mm.
and trying to kind of imitate what they do on a separate table without disturbing them too much and asking them thousands of questions. Is like, why you do this? What is this? What is that? What's happening there? I was super annoying. Now I know how annoying I was, but back then I was trying to learn, and this is the best way, right? I hired a professional to do the job, and I can ask my questions and learn. I wasn't shooting anything valuable back then, but I was learning, and also I was watching tons of YouTube videos
Mm.
day and night, and shooting thousands of pictures day and night. Every weekend, I was shooting something. And I was doing all these things for free, of course. Then friends are asking for favors. I was happy to do because I needed scenes to capture for free.
Hmm.
So for me, it was a fair trade.
Yeah.
I'm not creating any value. You don't have money to provide. Let me provide, and I will learn, and you will get your thing sorted. Then towards the end of the journey, I had the idea of becoming a freelancer, but I didn't know what to do with that idea. At, and one day, a friend asked, "Oh, we have this party thing. Can you take some pictures?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I go. Back then, I was a big sucker for continuous shooting.
Mhm.
And that day I shot like 2,000 pictures. And of course, from 2000, I found very good 80 pictures. I delivered. The person was so happy. That person paid me money. In my mind, I did something I like, and people liked it. And then they paid me money. I like the feeling. I was like, I should do that more often. Then I started looking for ways to become freelancer, and then I created myself a roadmap, right? I will have a logo, I will have a website, I will have my Instagram converted in a way to market myself. And this was a 1 year plan.
Hmm.
And then we were suddenly in a lockdown in our own apartment, not allowed to go anywhere, not allowed to do anything. And then the company I was working for bankrupted without paying us any of
Ooh.
the amounts. So we were suddenly in a very restrictive position. So when that happens, companies usually cut costs from marketing and other things. But for me, it was different. I see that as an opportunity to start marketing and everything that I'm supposed to do for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the time I spent a bit of money I have in my pocket to Squarespace to have a website, GoDaddy for a domain, and I hired a freelancer on Fiverr.com
Mm-hmm.
to do this signature style logos with my name,
Mm-hmm.
just to kickstart things without thinking too much. And suddenly my 1 year plan is shrink to 1 month.
Wow.
Yeah. In a month's time, I had the website, portfolio, email templates ready to send out to people for work, shooting more pictures. At home, we were shooting our cats. My wife was helping me with all those things. And we were just trying to stay creative. And during this period, I start finding my first clients. I was thinking it would be a dry spell and couldn't do any work. But then that period of our lives showed all of us importance of digital,
Mm-hmm.
and then things started to pick up. After we were more out and about, I was thinking that we will never go back to offices. So we moved to a bigger apartment, a bigger place to allocate one of the rooms as an office for
Mm-hmm.
myself. During those times, I met Coach Leo.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot out to Coach Leo. Best thing ever happened to our business today because she helped me shift my mindset from freelancer to what more we can do. And that was the first steps of our agency. She gave me some homeworks. I took a day to myself, um, listened only the songs that I really like, really inspire me, really feed my brain that day with all the good things. And as a result, we have Red Spades. So I started grinding more. We were not the official agency yet. I was still freelancing a bit, but started to introduce myself as a team of people to people. That allowed me,
Even without having the people.
even without having the people, because when job demanded, I started collaborating with other people, and I was true in my core
Hmm.
acting as an agency because I already started the process. Um,
So you
but
create your goal was to create a brand and to be seen as a brand and
exactly,
a
but
more than a one man show.
exactly, because I knew the value of it was different, and I also didn't want to put myself in a golden cage of clients saying we want to see you in every shooting,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Mm-hmm.
not sustainable. I cannot
Definitely.
be everywhere all the time. I wanted to teach all these qualities to other people. Oh, by the way, I learned photography in a very good way, focusing on F&B interiors, um, and anything content creation on Instagram level. And then I grew my photography skills. But I was working day and night.
Hmm.
Suddenly, my 7 days work in my previous restaurant job started to look very easy
Hmm.
because now I'm working 24/7 almost.
Yeah.
Some days no sleep at all, walking around like a zombie, but enjoying the life I'm having and not earning so much money because you don't know how to price your services.
Yeah.
Like, am I asking too much? Am I a bad person? Am I asking too less? Am I being unfair to myself and my skills?
Yeah.
In between. But then I really developed my skills, learned a lot, and I believe I started to provide a very good quality content to all my existing clients back then. Um, then I really didn't like staying at home because when I work from home, cats are sleeping in the background. There's nothing like there's nothing bustling or moving at home. So I wanted to be out. Then I rented this one person office in a business tower in downtown Dubai. This is when we met. Um, I had an official office. So in my
Good memories. Good
yeah,
memories.
good memories. I was allowed to say my clients that our office
Yeah.
because then I had my free zone license, not freelance, free zone license under Red Space name,
Hmm.
and I had an office. So we are an agency.
Yeah.
We have an office,
Yeah.
right? But when two people in the office, it was a bit challenging to move around. It was very tiny.
One day we'll share a picture of that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
place for
I still have the
for
pictures.
everyone to see where things
Started, yeah.
start. Yeah.
Um, but then every day I was working really hard to increase our qualities. Uh, I think the way to do this is stay being humble. Doesn't matter how
Hmm.
big you grow. That was my mindset. Still is. Then we met.
Yeah.
So until this point, this is how Red Spades was born. And then you tell me what you had in mind visiting Red Spades office with our common friend
Yeah.
and why you did what you did.
Yeah. Before I add there, I just want to say how inspiring all your story is, because again, it's all about choices and about decisions in life. And when you stopped working or you've been fired, let go from that company that you were working, you could just horse sit down and be depressed and kind of just don't do anything and be sad.
Yeah,
Or you could have chosen to go and find a similar job
yeah,
with the skills that you already had because you worked in that field as a commie waiter or any kind of waiter in that industry, but you decided to take the leap,
yeah,
right? And that's where good things come from, because you jumped when probably 90% of people wouldn't jump. And that's why you are where you are now, because 90% wouldn't take that leap of faith, that you only had one thing to hold on to,
yeah,
which was trusting yourself that you were capable to create this.
yeah,
And it's not something tangible, it's something that it's only in your mind.
yeah,
And these are the decisions and the choices that you make in life that can change a whole path outcome of your life.
yeah.
So proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Coming to me now and where it all started. And just for you to understand that none of us came from an industry that it is the one that we work in currently.
Yeah.
So we didn't study this.
No,
I
no.
didn't go to school and study photography and videography or editing or anything.
Yeah.
None of us.
Kids of YouTube.
Kids of YouTube, definitely. So just bear that in mind where you want to achieve something. School is very overrated. I'm not saying not go to school. I'm saying that there are certain industries that makes total sense that you go there, for example, to become a doctor.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to become, you can do that on your own. You can learn by yourself. And this is one of these examples.
Yeah.
Right? It just starts with a spark to want to know a new skill, want to learn a new skill,
Yeah.
and just put in the work.
Yeah.
Because if you put in the work, you'll learn. Right?
Yeah, correct.
And the more you practice, again, it's about that theory that I still don't know if it's true, but when you put 10,000 hours in something, you become an expert.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. I started with a broken analog camera. I cannot even see if I'm exposing correctly. I was taking notes to in a notebook to understand after the films are developed. I'm not that old. I just enjoy film photography back then. But zero skills, man.
Yeah.
Horrible pictures. I'm telling you, horrible.
Yeah, I bet.
But after 10,000 hours, we are where we are.
Exactly. So, coming back to my journey and where it all started, I was taking my master degree in marketing actually back home,
Mm.
but I didn't relate at all. I was like, what the hell am I doing here? This is definitely not for me. Funny enough. And I didn't even finish that master degree. I stopped it in the middle because I managed to join Emirates Airline. And the story there, it's hilarious to me looking back now because I don't know, it just happened. Obviously, you need to put your input into it. You need to take action for things to happen. I didn't suddenly got accepted and got into Emirates.
Yeah, that
That's
was a
not how it
process,
worked. There
right?
was a process. I had to go there. I had to look good. I had to talk good and go through all the process to be able to enter.
Yeah.
Right? Again, things don't fall on your lap. You have to execute and to work. Now, at that time, this was in end of 2011 or beginning of 2012, and I just went to the open day and I passed. At the same time, I was working in the airport as a ground staff, and I managed to get in Emirates Airline, and then I was stuck in a decision, which was when should I say that I want to commence, right? Because they do give you the opportunity to decide when you want to join.
Mm.
And I was in the middle of my master degree. So I decided that as I was not identifying myself with the course that I was taking with the master degree in marketing, I was like, okay, then it makes more sense to me. And this is where your decisions are so important because they shape what comes after, right? You cannot predict what comes after,
Yeah.
but based on of your experience in life, they are just some decisions that they are going to resonate more with you.
Yeah.
They're just going to spark something,
Yeah.
right? And that was one of them. And I decided that I was going to join immediately. So for me to do that, I would have to go to the office of the university and in my hopes to freeze because I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe they said I was in, and then at some point I was not in, and I wouldn't come to Dubai, or I would come to Dubai and something would happen. I would adapt, and I would come back
Yeah.
to Portugal and continue my university. So, to my surprise, when I asked them to freeze my degree, the lady said that it was not possible.
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, what do you mean it's not possible?" She was like, "No, it's not possible. It's just not possible." Till today, I don't know why it wasn't possible. But the only option was to cancel completely.
Okay.
And this was a tough choice because not only it was a master degree that I was taking, but it was a master degree that I was not even paying for it.
Mm.
Right? I don't know how you say it in English, but it's when prior to that, prior, let's say in your bachelor, you have such good grades that they provide you a scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
So I was taking my master in a scholarship format.
Yeah.
So when I went to speak with this lady and I asked her to cancel, she told me it's not possible. I said, I still want you to cancel,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't say the reason why. And I could see that when she was going through the computer and checking all the information, she was getting upset about my decision because in Portugal, everything goes slow. And
Yeah.
the mentality there is that you have to have your bachelor's, you have to have your master degrees. That's a must for you to succeed in life, right? So at some point she couldn't hold it and she was like, why are you doing this? But the sound, the way that she spoke was coming from a place of, I don't want to say sadness because she didn't know me to the point of being sad about it, but it was like frustrated. Like she was imagining me as her son making that
I
decision
see.
and how she would feel if the son was doing that.
Is it like um, maybe she was thinking that you are burning an opportunity
Definitely.
because masters is an opportunity for you
Definitely.
with your grades, and you're just throwing it away?
Yeah, she thought that I just didn't have anything planned and I just was enough is enough. I don't want this anymore and I'm just going to quit. And then she asked and I told her no, this is the reason I went to the open day of Emirates and I managed to get in, and I decided to go immediately.
Yeah.
So I cannot stay another year
Yeah.
to complete my master's degree and only afterwards I go. Because that's also always an unknown, right? You don't know. Because these kind of businesses, these big corporate businesses, it's all about what they need.
Yeah.
At that moment, they needed people.
Yeah.
Who would have told me that maybe 2 months after they wouldn't need any more and they filled their quota
Yeah.
of people?
You never know.
You never know. So that's why the decision was made. And when I told her that, I just saw a light in her eyes that it just changed from night to day. She was smiling at that point. And fun fact, fun information there, her son actually tried to go and didn't pass.
Oh, wow.
So she was like, "Oh my God, that's so good. I'm really happy for you. You should do it." It's insane how when people have the full picture,
Yeah.
then
It's a different story.
oh yeah, then it just changes everything,
Yeah.
right? So that was the beginning, and I came to Dubai, and I stayed working in Emirates for 10 years, from 2012 to 2022, and I just lived my life in reverse compared to everyone else. Because everyone else, what do? They find a job or they go bachelor, master, they find a job in a desk or whatever, and they work for 10, 20, 30 years. In between those years, they go on vacation from time to time for maximum 10 or 50 or 15 days because they are building their career, seeing a bit of the world, but their goal is to make enough money to retire and then see the world. Meanwhile, I was the opposite. For these 10 years, I saw the world. I saw everything that was there to see. I traveled pretty much everywhere. So now I don't have that urge and need to go and travel here and there and see this and see that. And it gives me such an advantage.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that calling anymore because I already done it.
Yeah.
And I was doing it while I was young, which is such a good experience. So
And while still earning money from a company and still visiting all those countries.
definitely you were paid for everything. So Emirates was a really good experience. I totally recommend for everyone that is between their 20s and their 30s, go for an airline, go for a cruise ship,
Yeah.
something that allows you to see the world without you paying, and live this life in reverse because it's so pleasurable that you are able to do it in this way. And then it will allow you to focus on more important things, right? Because when you are on your 20s to your 30s, that's the time that you should also work hard and start building things, but you don't have a family.
Yeah.
You don't have responsibilities, you don't have concerns. So for me, it was amazing. Throughout my Emirates journey, I also learned a lot. There was lots of good things and also lots of bad things.
Yeah.
Right? It's not an easy job. It's something that requires you to have a lot of mental fortitude. But if you manage to get to a management level, you will learn a lot and you will have learned skills that you can bring for other projects in your life,
Yeah.
let's say. And that's what I really thank Emirates for, because I became the person that I am at the moment in terms of my soft skills, in terms of personality, in terms of mental strength. All this, it's based on this work that I've done for 10 years and I managed to develop so many things.
It's another kind of university, very hands-on, teaching you
It's
so
the
much
best
about life.
university.
Yeah.
It's the best university. You will never grow as much as anyone going through these experiences if you go to university.
Yeah.
You can't. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So it's very valuable. And after my 10 years in Emirates and after all the good and all the challenges, I decided that it was time to move on. But this was a process, right? I didn't just decide to move on and leave the last day that I left.
Yeah.
So this was a process that everyone needs to go through and understand when is their time.
Yeah.
Right. And just to share a tip from my side, an advice, you should never, unless you are in a place that is really dark, you shouldn't live where you are without a second plan. That eventually will become your first plan.
Yeah.
Right? You need to be mentally strong. You need to plan things accordingly. If you need to push for another year to have that set, push that 1 year.
Yeah.
Don't just jump into a place of the unknown if you don't have something in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Because that can backfire very easily, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there are exceptions, yes, but usually this is how it should be, or this is how it is. Um, During the lockdown, which was around 2020, 2022, if I'm not incorrect, I was still working in Emirates, but the workload was much less.
Yeah.
So usually we worked for 100 hours a week. This is flying hours.
Yeah.
There are more hours included in your work before and after the flights and all this, but usually it's 100 to 120 hours. And just to keep into perspective, during the lockdown, I was working for maybe 30 hours.
Yeah.
So that's probably like 2 flights a month, which is nothing.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was bored at home and I was with this constant pressure that I didn't want to stay in Emirates forever, but I didn't know what to do because the path that I took in my learnings and my teachings were very focused on the soft skills of things. So I studied tourism and then I went for marketing and I worked in the customer service industry, which was the airline. And that doesn't give you any hard skills.
Yeah.
You don't know a skill per se.
Yeah.
Right. So I always had that in the back of my mind because I knew that I didn't want to stay in Emirates forever, but I also didn't know what to do. And that's when 2020, 20, a little bit before, with already that mindset in mind, I decided to start shooting videos. So I did all this research as well on YouTube, again, the YouTube that saves everyone. And I went through the cameras that I should buy, hours and hours, countless hours of research, and I decided to buy my first camera. And then all these questions arise: which camera, which lenses, which what do you need? And then all this gear is so expensive, and you cannot just I want to buy this, and that, and you buy everything. You can't. It's just not how it works. And to be honest, you don't even need that. You need one lens.
Yeah.
Should be more than enough, and the camera. That's it.
Yeah.
So that's what I've done. I bought the camera and lens, and I started also shooting on my free time. I remember the first video that I created was when I went with an ex of mine to Bali, and I was trying to capture our experience throughout our vacation. And that video was horrible. Horrible. If I look at that video today, oh my God. Oh my God. Just for you to understand, that video is still on a YouTube channel from my personal account, unlisted forever.
I think we have all those unlisted videos for. I have to.
That video and many more are not ever
They will
going to
not
see
see
the
daylight.
day of the light of day. So then I started developing my skills on that while I was still working with Emirates. And we had a friend in common that knew your path and knew my path. And he was like, hey, you should meet this person. You should meet this person.
Yeah.
Why don't you guys get together?
Yeah.
Right? Because in this moment, I was trying to hone my skills and grow and get better at that technical hard skill that I really had in my mind that I needed to develop. And you already were in your freelance. I think at that time you still didn't have the agency. No. You were freelancing. And what he told me was that you were busy and you needed help.
Yeah.
So that's what I've done. Again, decisions, action. I reached out and I was very transparent and said, listen, I'm not that good, but I know that you need people and need help. So I don't want any money. I just want you to help me learn, and I'll learn from you. And you have a pair of extra hands to whatever you need. At this point, I was 30 something. I don't even know. I was 33, I think.
Yeah.
But this is where you being humble needs to, you need to show that.
Yeah.
Right? You need to be, because at some point when you get older, you start getting all this or attached to this character traits that you should already be here, or you have this or you have that, and you kind of grow this sense of entitlement. And I never had that.
Yeah.
Right. So when I came to you, I was really, really open, and I just wanted to learn.
Yeah.
Even if it was just to carry lights around.
And from my end of things, someone is coming with a camera and telling me that they, oh, teach me this, teach me that, let's do this together. I'll come here for free. And like, who am I to have a person for free to teach something? Like, I don't know anything myself. All right. And then you were like, no, you do this, right? You did this. I'm like, yes. Then you know how to do it. Very simple. Teach me.
Insane.
And in my mind, I never considered myself as teaching someone, especially for the sake of getting free help. It's too much. It's not a fair trade.
Yeah.
Like, I should be paying you to help me. But on your mind, you're trying to learn something from someone who's already in the path, like in the journey, doing things. So to me also, it was very humbling to have someone asking something in exchange on information.
Yeah.
By the time I thought I knew nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was where we met.
Yeah.
And we went to several shootings together. I learned so much. And I hope that I managed to help, even without knowing much about the technical things and
But
technical aspects of photography and videography.
I say yes, but back then I was so bad. If I check those videos now,
Yeah. We came a long way. We came a long way, which is a good thing to see.
I'm very proud with the
Which is a good thing
development.
to see.
Yeah.
But for me, on my experience, it was just mind blowing how it's so hard to tap into certain industries. And just because I made this connection with you, I was out of the blue shooting for high end restaurants.
Yeah.
For example, it was such a wow moment.
Yeah.
It was not like we were shooting cafes, or we were shooting, not anything bad about cafes. It was already like high end venues. And that's that for me, as kind of my entry level in the industry, was mind blowing.
Because usually you order something from delivery services, start shooting that at home, then offer your free services to cafes and small places. By the way, I did all those things to start the business,
Yeah.
right? I worked for free for so long. By the time you joined, I already met Leo.
Yeah.
I had a path. I knew what to do. I started reaching out. And then you and me were capturing best restaurants in the region.
Yeah. Best time to join.
Best time to join. Yeah. I finished all the takeaway shootings.
Yeah.
And then best French restaurant
no
of the
more
region.
Talabat and Zomato shootings. Yeah, so that was really funny. That was really funny.
But then you had a bit of a radio silence for.
Yeah,
We were on and off.
Yeah, we were on and off because it was not just a decision that was supposed to be made at that time.
Yeah.
Because I was still committed to Emirates, and I was still working there as a full-time employee. And I stayed there for, I believe, around another year and a half to 2 years. And as I said before, this was my 1.5 year to 2 years to plan everything, to live in a good way.
Yeah.
Right. So after the lockdown started to ease a bit and things started to get a bit back to normal, then I was flying for 100 hours, 120 hours, and you just have no time for anything.
Yeah.
I just disconnected from that side, and we were just in touch time to time, and I was not participating in any shootings or helping you in any way, but at that time you were also sorted for sure.
Yeah.
And you that's where you started your steps into creating the agency.
Yeah.
But we always kept in touch, and there was always that mutual feeling, oh, let's do something together, let's work together, because when two people meet and they click from the beginning, it's hard to ignore.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what happened with us. Our personalities were so aligned, our goals, our thoughts, our way of being, our decisions, everything was so aligned that it was in such a small amount of time that we worked together, we created such a strong connection.
Yeah.
And obviously that's what eventually brought us back together,
Yeah.
to create this amazing thing that we have today, right? um, and so from that point on, I went back to Emirates 2022. Actually, it was 2021 to 2022. It was when I decided that I was going to resign. It was on New Year's, actually, New Year's Day from 2021 to 2022. I really didn't want to go for a flight with Emirates. I ended up calling sick. And that time, the only thing that it was in my head was, okay, I need to calculate everything to make sure that I'm making the right decision. The pros and cons list, everything, just do everything in your power. And that's what I did. So I was laying in bed in complete darkness. And this was like 2 a.m. of the 1st of 20, January 2022. And this was the moment where I did all my thinking and made the decision and actually wrote my resignation email.
Wow.
And in March 29th of 2022, that's when I resigned. And then obviously we were in touch more,
Yeah.
and decisions had to be made. I could go back to Portugal because I also managed to invest there and have a business there. But I just didn't feel that it was the right time for me to do that. And I still wanted to stay in Dubai. And based on this connection that we have, I felt that there was something there. There was just something that we could together develop.
Yeah.
And that's when we started speaking again. And I came and joined Red Spades as a part-time employee, remember? And
Today it feels like you were always there all the time,
yeah,
but when now we think about it, you started part time,
yeah, I started part-time.
even not a very consistent part time. You were like a few hours here, a few hours there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's actually when I realized how much I still had to grow,
Yeah.
because you were giving me things to do. We were shooting things and I needed to do edits, even though I still believe that the problem was the laptop that I had. That was like a disaster. I had to generate, optimize media
Yeah.
every single clip, and that would take hours. There was a time that I really felt that I needed to step up,
Yeah.
and you have no idea how many hours I worked at home. You have no
I
idea.
can only imagine.
But again, that's where
That's how we
you
grow.
have to sacrifice,
Yeah.
right? At that time I knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
Right? So then from there onwards, it was just a build up of new clients, new work, company growing, hiring processes. Because I didn't join as just, well, I should have joined as just a videographer, but because we are so aligned and we connected so well, I felt that that I should be doing more, and I think that I was always doing more, and kind of with that humble mindset and wanting to learn more and be able to bring into the table everything that I learned from these 10 years of experience,
Yeah.
and just throw it at you so you could, because you didn't have my experience, right? So there was things that I had to learn from you, and there were things that you had to learn from me.
And when you take over something, or when I delegate something to you, I don't think twice. Whereas a random new person we hire, when I delegate, then I don't know how they will handle the work. But
Yeah.
with you, I knew
Yeah.
that things would be okay if you take care of them.
Yeah, I think it was just such a beautiful journey in that point. We were working hard. We were traveling to Riyadh and staying there for 2 months, or not even 2 months. I don't even know how long it was. It was like a month. I think it was a month the first time we went.
Yeah, 25, 28
Yeah,
days,
we went to
and we
25
worked
days.
every day.
We went for 25 days and we shot for a total of 21 venues, if I'm
Yeah,
not incorrect. And since the moment that we started shooting the first venue, we had a deadline of 7 working days to deliver the edits.
yeah,
And it was like something similar to 8 to 12 videos per venue. And I don't even know how many pictures,
100
probably a
plus
100 plus
pictures.
pictures. So you can imagine how the first day everything is beautiful, the second day everything is beautiful,
And
and then
third day onwards,
third day
building
onwards you
up.
start thinking, oh, but the first day that we started shooting, we now already only have 3 or maximum 4
Yeah,
days to finish and
yeah.
edit all these things. So we were working non-stop.
Okay. You may ask why you didn't delegate to remote people to edit your pictures and videos. Well, easy, because connection is horrible. We cannot upload
Connections.
anything. How can
Internet
I
is
upload
horrible.
raw pictures or 4K videos?
Yeah, we couldn't.
We couldn't do that.
We couldn't. We was just, it would just take so many hours to upload
Yeah.
something that is raw and the size of these files. It was insane. So yeah, we were just waking up in the morning, getting ready, going to the shoot of a different venue every single day for like 8 hours,
Yeah.
and then we would find a cozy cafe shop to then edit, because the hotel that we were, the room that we were, didn't even have a space for
Two
two
people
two
to sit.
people to
Yeah.
sit in a desk. So I remember vividly, as if it was today, while I was working in a desk, you were working in a bed
Yeah.
with this kind of hard cushion that,
Yeah, it was from one of the bags we have. It had a hard surface. I was putting that on top of the bed
yeah,
and then sitting next to it. And then in very often occasion, I was falling asleep like
oh man,
this.
falling
My hands
asleep,
on the keyboard.
falling asleep. It was insane. But these were, for you, I don't know, because you already kind of experienced on your skill. But for me, it was when everything just went vertical.
Yeah. No, same man, because the there is no growth and movement in comfort zone.
Yeah,
And this was one of the projects we were out of our comfort zone 300%.
yeah,
We are staying in a not horrible but not even okay
yeah,
hotel. It was bad. We don't have many comforts such as having another chair and table
yeah.
or having a decent internet connection.
Mm.
And everything in Dubai business is still moving on.
Yeah,
And our
yeah, true. Bear in mind, because we, as the, let's say, owners of the agency,
yeah,
we are away. But at that point, we already had our retainers here in Dubai
yeah,
that we
and they're
we
still
still had to manage them,
yeah,
at least from a communication point of view, while we were working non-stop and not having 100%
yeah.
availability
Yeah.
for other clients.
It is very challenging for our bodies. Our breakfasts were usually banana and coffee,
Oh
if
man,
you remember.
oh
Yeah,
man,
banana and bad coffee. And doesn't matter how good you are with your skills, because in photography editing, you can edit a picture for days, for weeks,
yeah,
or you have to edit 100 pictures in 3 hours. And it's about knowing when to stop.
yeah,
Like, I'm there on my bed in a weird table I invented, editing pictures, and then I should deliver to my client what they expect,
hmm,
but then I should have a cut off time to sleep enough to perform good next day,
yeah,
because there's a shooting for the same client. And in the evening, I have to edit a new set of pictures.
yeah, insane.
Insane, insane. I'm happy we did it though.
I would do it again,
Yeah,
because again, that's what made me grow
yeah,
parabolically.
yeah. That's the repetition, right? Every day
That's the
you edit so
repetition.
many.
That's the repetition, and it was a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Like, we had to deliver that. Your body was tired, your mind was tired, you still have to deliver something that the quality is up to our standards.
Yeah.
And you have to go through every scene, make sure that things are stabilized properly. There's no noise in anything. Things are not out of place.
Yeah.
Makes sense where your video's telling a story, and not only make one, make 12
Yeah.
per day. And that's exactly where, when faced with all these challenges, you or you break or you become something much better.
Yeah. While all these things are happening, your software crashes, your laptop doesn't have enough memory, you don't have enough memory, your hard drive is full. Like these things, also it taught us to be more cautious and having backups of backups.
Yeah.
When you have backup, you're more comfortable. When you have more space, more comfortable. We purchased one of the big hard
One of the
drives
G
there, right?
drives.
They sent it with a special delivery things, 22 terabyte G drive, saved the day for
Because
us.
it was so much footage, so many.
Oof,
It's
even speaking
insane.
about it, it makes me tired. So Riyadh experience. We were in Jeddah first, then Riyadh. It was one of the first times we travel abroad for work.
How exciting that was!
How exciting, man! How exciting!
This
Like,
guy didn't even travel at all.
yeah, man. Compared to
And I'm like, oh no, again another plane, no, another trial. But I always get excited getting on planes, and it's a different experience when
Yeah.
you go as a customer and not as a cabin crew.
But you as a seasoned traveler and me just having this excitement of going into a plane every single time, and I didn't have the culture of like um, going to airport. Like I go 4 hours before,
No.
you go 1 hour before. We had to meet in the middle ground. Still, I enjoy going a bit earlier and doing a bit of work at the airport. I like
So we
airports.
can enjoy the lounges.
Yeah, we can enjoy the lounges. Not the good ones, but okay, still fine. Yeah, it was definitely an experience. And then that unlocked for us that, oh, we can travel other places too. And now we travel to Doha for work, we travel to London for work, which was a big milestone. I think it can be an episode of its own for our learnings there.
Definitely.
So yeah, these were first steps. I have to mention, I'm very grateful for the team we have.
Yeah.
All the team members coming and going, and whoever left becoming successful at what they do. I'm proud to see that. And today, the core team we have, I'm very grateful that when we delegate some work and they do it nicely, it makes me so happy. I want our photographers to become better photographer than me, videographers to become better videographers than you. This is how we will grow.
Yeah.
We'll learn from them. So very grateful for Red Space team. As you speak, I can hear music rising towards the end of the podcast. No, it will be more smooth, like
Yes, it.
that was good, man.
Of course it was.
I really like
I'm not expecting.
it.